He says, "For judgment I have come into the world, so that the blind will see, and those who see will become blind." And some of the Pharisees that heard this said, "What, are we blind too?" And Jesus says, I think rather snarkily, he says, "If you were blind, would you not be guilty of sin? But now that you claim you can see, your guilt remains." So I think there's three things that are important here in this story. Number one is the man didn't need finished theology. He didn't need a lesson tied up in a bow to believe in Jesus. He could not answer their questions about sin or law. He wasn't trying to. He was just telling them what he knew. He was blind. Now you can see there's not a lot of theological depth to that, but it is the truth. Number two, being cast out of our community or even our church doesn't always mean that we're cast out by God. The synagogue slammed the door on him. They put him out. And in the same breath, Jesus came looking for him. You see, sometimes the rules that the churches make are not the laws or even the way that God wants us to live. Sometimes breaking the rules is the right thing to do. And rejection by people is not the same as rejection by God. Sometimes being rejected by people is a doorway to something even closer and better with God. And in this story, sight and blindness are metaphors. I mean, the man literally was blind, but the metaphor part was what Jesus was saying at the end, where the blind will no longer see and those that are blind will see. It's about the spiritual blindness that the Pharisees had. They were blinded by the law and by the rules and by the bad parts of religion, that they couldn't see the truth that was in front of them. They couldn't see Jesus for who he really was. And they denied who he was, saying they don't know who he is or where he came from. And even in that, Jesus wasn't going to make them have a disability. He wasn't going to make them literally blind. He was just saying that he came, and those that thought they could see aren't seeing because they're not seeing Jesus. You know, sometimes we don't have to have all the answers. Sometimes all we have to know is one thing. I was blind, now I see. So may you go this week knowing that you just have to have one answer. May that one answer be, I was blind, but now I see. And what that means is, I see Jesus. So may you see Jesus everywhere in your life. Grace and peace to you. God bless you. Have a great week.